Yo, it's Mac from the Everyday Nobody's podcast. I know you see the title, so let's get straight to it. Bobbi Althoff finally got humbled. Last week, she was on Funny Marco's podcast, and let's just say it was very telling. It looks like she heard the backlash, she received it, and now she's going on her apology tour. But how did we get here? Let's start from the beginning. Bobbi Althoff literally came from out of nowhere. She got a chance to interview some of the biggest artists in the game, and nobody even knew who she was. She had Funny Marco, Drake, Lil Yachty, Offset, Tyga, the list goes on. She started her career off as a TikToker just doing mom content. Then out of nowhere, her first interview was with Funny Marco. Now she claims this came about by just reaching out to her fans and asking anybody, if you can tag Funny Marco and get him to come on my podcast, I'll give you some money.
Oh God, like getting guests is really hard. Like I don't know how to
very
get
hard.
it is. So I was like, I don't know like what to do. So then I was like, I put a TikTok out and I was like, I'll give $300 to anyone who, the idea was I was hoping that like someone, I was like, if you tag someone and you get them to do it. I was hoping that like someone would tag like a celebrity and a celebrity would see that and be like, oh, I'll like do it. And I wasn't thinking like huge names. I was thinking just like,
I remember seeing that video. You were like, I want a famous person.
I know,
you have to be famous.
Exactly.
Come on.
So
Yeah.
I was just trying to like bait people to give me guests. I was like, I need a guest.
A lot of people were really skeptical about that story, but even though it sounded like bullshit, they just let her rock out. From the Funny Marco interview, she ended up landing a Drake interview. She claims Drake saw her Funny Marco interview, that was all he needed to see, and he wanted to interview with her. Now, even more eyebrows are raised because that sounds like bullshit also. That interview pissed a lot of people off in black media. People were asking, why is Drake giving this random girl an interview instead of coming to a traditional hip-hop platform? Elliott Wilson was direct with the hate, and it looked bad on him because he's had a bunch of Drake interviews. This left Joe Budden and Charlamagne to question, is the hip-hop interview dead? Bobbi Althoff would officially be on black people's radar. Now, black people, we're very inclusive when it comes to our culture, but we are going to want to know what is your history and where did you come from? That's why everyone right now is so infatuated with who snitched, where are the old tweets, is this an industry plant? We want to know if there's mystery in your history. So it wasn't so much of a race thing, it's just something that black people do to everybody. But if something is found, now we're going to ask, who sent you? And that's the trap that Bobbi fell into. Once people found themselves not being able to explain how Bobbi got here, they started to investigate. The internet will find out that she's being managed by WME, which is a huge management company, and a lot of those people that she was interviewing were also being managed by the same company. So now her origin story that she told in the beginning is starting to fall apart. You didn't just get these special guests on a whim. You were connected to the right people who knew the right people.
Oh God, like getting guests is really hard. Like I don't know how to
very
get
hard.
it is. So I was like, I don't know like what to do. So then I was like, I put a TikTok out and I was like, I'll give $300 to anyone who, the idea was I was hoping that like someone, I was like, if you tag someone and you get them to do it. I was hoping that like someone would tag like a celebrity and a celebrity would see that and be like, oh, I'll like do it. And I wasn't thinking like huge names. I was thinking just like,
I remember seeing that video. You were like, I want a famous person. You have to be famous.
Exactly.
Come on.
So
Yeah.
I was just trying to like bait people to give me guests. I was like, I need a guest.
From that point, the industry plant seeds were sown. So now that she's perceived as an industry plant, everything she does is now being criticized under a racial lens. See, at first she was just seen as awkward. She was the girl who had a similar style to Funny Marco. But now she's seen as a thief who's just stealing from a black creator.
Which is why I don't like the style.
Yeah.
But isn't it your
But it didn't
style?
start off like that. No, I don't get people in my interview and try to like below them. Like
she's been like.
I just wanted to make that clear because a lot of people think that that's your
it's
style.
Nah, it's that. I mean, I feel like certain people get inspired by certain people. I get inspired by other people. So she probably have inspired something from the interview that did which. Who wouldn't? Like, if it go great and you in that field, pick up something. But
Okay, got it. Understood.
So I feel like she picked up something, but I wouldn't point out and say that's that because I'm expired.
So the culture can blame you for Bobbi.
Now they're treating her like she's Elvis. They feel like she stole black art and got 10 times more famous from it. People were mad at Drake like he stole from them. They're like, why would you give the attention to this thief when you could have helped a black content creator become bigger?
So did Drake see your interview and then went to interview with her?
He's seen our clips.
Yeah, Drake.
Yours was before Drake's?
That's why I say he started it.
But wait, has Drake ever interviewed with you?
Nah.
Do you find offense to that?
No, because I say it's perfect timing and stuff. Maybe,
These bigger stars are going to white media versus black media. Do you feel any type of way about that?
No, because I got an open mind. It's a reason
You're black media too.
Yeah, but I still have an open mind on. It's always another side to the book, and I I don't want to be. I've been in that side where they're blaming you and doing stuff, and you have a story too.
Then to make matters worse, she takes the style and she adds this rude element to it. She's interviewing people as if she's annoyed with them. She's making it seem like they reached out to her, like they were just begging to be next to her. It comes off as super entitled, but it's kind of her shtick. So now instead of it coming off as awkward, it's like a rude Karen disrespecting black stars.
Okay.
What do you do? That's the question.
I interview people.
Why?
Because I want to get to know them.
Why do you want to get to know me?
I didn't.
You did.
Your team reached out to mine.
Don't cap. Let's not cap about that. That's not flex for the gram. Uh-oh. CAP. Flag on the play. Cap.
What was that? Are you trying to make a song right now?
No, it was cap.
Okay. Wasn't.
You should
Actually,
try to make a song.
I honestly don't know how this came about. I'm not going to lie to you.
And that theory was further perpetuated after she did a Barstool's interview with Dave Portnoy. She was very normal. She wasn't using her shtick. She was speaking to him like she actually gave a fuck about being there. So now it's like, damn, you get with Dave Portnoy, who's white, and you're acting very normal, but when you get around black people, you show your ass. And you even went on that interview and disrespected Lil Yachty.
I realized that it seems like that the style that she kind of took from you, she kind of did it in a negative way, and I think it's just kind of rubbing people the wrong way, especially when she did the interview with Barstools, and when she went on there and she was talking about how, like, you know, the situation with her and Yachty.
I called her out on that too. I said, you were wrong for that. And she was like, oh, they backdoor. I'm like, you're wrong. Like, I definitely called her out, and I'm like, and that was just me saying my opinion. That's like, I feel like you're wrong because here's somebody that welcomed you into their house and you say that to other people. So I did, and I mean, you know.
Yeah, because it kind of makes it look like she ran to, like, you know,
like,
her people.
that was the plan.
And then was like,
exactly.
was like, yo, I'm not comfortable saying this, you know, in this platform, but I'm gonna go to you know, to my people and you know, talk how we would talk.
Because he was awkward. I walked into his house. He didn't even like say hi to me. So then I was like, said, let's go to the bathroom. So then we go to the bathroom and then we like get out. And then he's like, he's just sitting there with like his two assistants and he's not even acknowledging that I'm like in the room. And my camera guy is like setting up. I'm just sitting there like
skin
on
crawling.
my phone, like I'm like trying, and then he comes up, he's like, oh hi, gives me like a half hug, and I'm just like, hi, then goes back to his spot, and I'm like, dude, I don't even want to do this. I'm texting my friend like, Ashley, I need to leave, this is so awkward, I don't want it, like, what am I doing here?
Dave Portnoy would be the one to violate you. Dave pushed the narrative that you were sleeping with Drake, so it's ironic because you treated him with respect.
Here's an example. You know that girl who's blowing up, Bobbi Althoff?
Yes.
So we had her on BFFs.
Yes.
And
you started drama with the.
Yes. So we asked her, did she sleep with Drake?
Yeah.
And she answered, no, this is a text. So we had her on the show. The Drake stuff broke after. But since I knew her, I texted her. I'm like, hey, I'm hearing you slept with Drake and you got a divorce. Is that true? Kind of joking. Like, she's like, off the record? No, not true. And something else. We retold this story on BFFs the next week, and our editors edited it and made it appear like she was about to confirm something salacious.
Yet you showed up to Drake's concert acting like you were unamused. You disrespected Lil Yachty. You tried to act like you didn't take your style from Funny Marco, and you were getting called out for it. Keke Palmer put the full court press on. She basically said, are you an industry plant? Are you going to give black people credit? Then she would get publicly embarrassed when she was denied access to Drake's party. So now that all the hype is gone, she would come back around. That leads us up to last week where she would interview with Funny Marco. She would come face to face with the master of her style, and she just couldn't hang. She seemed really apologetic, and it seemed like she started to understand why people were calling her a vulture. Now, there was a part in the interview where she did try to play victim, but Marco, being a master of his craft, he just kept spinning it. That shit fell on deaf ears. So she finally decided to pay homage and give Funny Marco $20,000.
But
what?
I do appreciate, because like before my interview with you, I feel like that really blew up for me. It took me to different levels. So I have a present, and you're actually gonna need to use it for something that I didn't think. I think you might need to use it to like fix the studio.
To me, that was a symbol of her apologizing to the black community for how she was perceived. Then to put the icing on the cake, she brings out one of the most ratchet fucking human beings in the world, Sukihana.
I'm trying to get my coochie stretched. I'm trying to get my coochie stretched. and eat a nigga ass. We be eating niggas ass today in London. Period, baby.
And she kissed the ring. But what do I know? I'm just an everyday nobody. Tell me what you think in the comments. Was this just a ploy to get black people back on her side? Or has Bobbi truly humbled herself? Tell me what you think in the comments. Like and subscribe. I'm out.